Today's story begins with a Korean girl named Ever, a student at a school in the United States. Her friend Tamra, who has her own car, comes to pick her up. She tells Ever to act cool so she can hook a guy. Nothing will happen if she stays quiet alone, and this isn't new to Ever. Every morning, she goes to school listening to this nonsense. But today, she loses her focus. She hits a boy riding a bicycle on the road. When Ever comes out, she sees it's her classmate, Randall. She immediately apologizes. Although she wasn't hurt, she's not hurt. But then the school bullies arrive. Those boys and girls who have a special kind of urge to tease everyone. So, they do the same thing here. All the boys who had drinks throw them a Raylan. This makes Ever feel very bad. But if she says anything, it will be bad for her. That's why she came to school. After one period, everyone is gathered together because it's time to go on a picnic. But before that, the in-charge, Mr. Lorenzo, collects all the children's phones. This is an old habit of his. Some school teachers are like that, who can't bear to see children happy. Anyway, now everyone take their seats, and you too fasten your seatbelts because this is going to be a bloody scene like you've probably never seen before. You might not even want to go on a picnic after seeing this. As soon as the trip begins, Mr. Lorenzo begins his same old speech that no one is interested in hearing. He's already heard it 1,000 times. So, Lurtso, suffering from old age, takes a nap. Behind them, the children enjoy the trip, enjoying it to the fullest. They enjoy it to the fullest. When In-Charge wakes up, he realizes he might be taking the wrong route. So he tells Mr. Wine, the driver, that he's taken a wrong turn. But the driver, being a stubborn man, refuses to admit his mistake. Meanwhile, a strange object hits the bus's windshield, turning it red. Is it blood? We'll find out later. The driver loses control of his steering wheel, and the bus begins to slide straight into the ditch, injuring several children. But when the bus stops, some strange things happen, like a sudden fog forming and a complete silence. All this was quite strange when suddenly a news report from the United States of America's Civil Defense announced that everyone should stay put and hide in a safe place because a chemical attack had occurred in the country. Hearing this, everyone gasped. What had happened? Everything had been fine until now. Just then, a man with bloody hands appeared at the gate. He was wearing a strange mask. He kept knocking on the gate. Although everyone told him not to open the gate, Mr. Lorenzo's humanity awakened. He felt he needed help. So he opened the gate and asked if he was lost. But the man, without saying a word, rushed in, stabbed Mustard in the neck, and ripped off the entire mask, killing him instantly. Seeing this horrific scene, the children immediately open the rear emergency exit and come out. But some children are still inside. Efforts are made to rescue them, but they cannot be saved. Only 7 children have come out safely. But it would be premature to call them safe now, because no one knows what lies ahead. All 7, running through the forest, reach a dilapidated building. Seeing it, some say they should go inside, but others are still wondering who that person was. Then a student says, I think it must be an infected person, because the broadcast was reporting a chemical attack on the country. So it's possible he got infected in that. No one knows for sure. That's why they first look for a safe place. Then they see only that ruined building, so they go inside. A student named Danny had a burning desire to explore the place. He broke away from his group and went a little deeper, only to slip on blood and fall onto the intestines of a dead horse. The sight of this horrified him. Hearing his screams, the others came running. When they saw the state of the dead horse, they were astonished. No animal would even hunt so brutally. So who did it? Danny proposed his theory. A different kind of virus may have spread in America, which the government is now unable to control. This horse may have fallen victim to that virus, meaning we too will become like this. But no one believed him. So they went to another location and decided that the first step was to seal off all the openings or entry points in the building. To do this, they divided themselves into 2 teams to make the work quicker and easier. Meanwhile, Stephen and Ever spoke to each other for the first time. We learned that Stephen liked her, but he never told them. Now, while working, some people find things. For example, one found a spear, another a knife, and a third person found a broken guitar. He turned it into a sharp weapon. Suddenly, they hear Candace's voice from outside. Everyone was overjoyed to see the same student who had stayed on the bus alive, especially especially Ever, because Candace was one of her few friends. But her friends wouldn't let her go out because she wasn't alone. There was also this unknown person who was using her as bait to get them to come out. But none of them went out. As a result, he stabbed Candace to death in front of them. But that's not all. Another man enters, their driver Wayne. He was killed by the unknown man, but he's come back to life, but in a different avatar. Blood is dripping from his mouth. He's behaving strangely, as if he were a zombie. Seeing his condition, everyone runs into a room where there was some strange lighting, but they were safe there. Out of nowhere, Lion arrives, their long-lost companion, who was in good health. He tells them all, I was on the bus, but when things calmed down, I got out. Then I saw that everyone with me was somehow infected, and he was in the back, but I survived. But friends, he's now put his friends' lives in danger, because he has brought infected people here who begin biting them all, including Hunt. Seeing this, his best friend Danny becomes very angry, but he must somehow escape. They hide behind a wooden wall, which has a hole in it, which they use to get there. However, Ryan is overweight, so he can't get inside. Ever comes and kicks him, which pushes him deeper in, but we can clearly see that he has an injury in his stomach, which is continuously bleeding. Now everyone gathers in a separate room where some mannequins have been placed. Seeing them, they think they represent them. This was true. Then Danny, who is red with anger, starts behaving very strangely. Seeing this, everyone asks him what is wrong with him. He shows him a bite mark. It means something bit him, but we don't know who it was. He comes up angrily with an oil can because he wants to burn all the infected people to end this whole thing and avenge his friend's death. But Ryan forbids him from doing so, saying that's not possible. Just then, Van returns, but this time they kill him mercilessly. But this is just the beginning, friends, because just then another infected thing comes rushing towards them and jumps down from the roof, carrying Danny. After falling from such a height, his death was inevitable. But he straightens his flexible back and, without looking back, simply starts running. The students watching all this from above are now beginning to wonder if the apocalypse has arrived, because this is its sign. Everyone is extremely nervous, unsure of what to do next. One suggests that they should close all the windows and doors, as going outside is dangerous. Another suggests that they should go to the terrace and seek help. But Ever insists that she's going outside so she can contact someone on the bus's mobile phone and call them back. Although no one approves of her decision, she believes it's tantamount to inviting death. But she goes anyway, and seeing her bravery, Steven agrees to accompany her. Slowly, they reach the crash bus where they find the phone, but alas, it's all turned off. So, it means that Ever's decision to come out was a failure. Seeing her despair, Steven encourages her, saying at least she tried. He's glad she got out of the place, hoping for a solution, and hearing her talk makes Ever feel good. So, she moves in to kiss him, but Steven pulls back, saying he has mud on his face. Just then, Ever remembers the radio on the bus, which she turns on again to ask for help if it connects someone. But when she turns it on, she hears the same broadcast from that morning again. Upon closer inspection, she realizes there are two ladders inside. This means someone was behind all this. The voice on the radio was recorded. It was all a plan game. Everything they saw and heard was fake. While all this is going on in his mind, the TV comes from behind and injects him, and he apologizes. But it wasn't just him. Randall was also there, who had met with him. But why all this? How? And when? So let's go back to 4 weeks ago when Steven and Randall first met. They were both victims of bullying by Danny and his group. Since then, they have been obsessed with revenge. For this, they have made some very dangerous decisions. It all starts with a Chip named Chip, a drug dealer from the US who was himself bullied as a child. That's why he created a special liquid that, when injected, causes a person to behave strangely. But he himself had no idea that its effects would be so dangerous. The driver, meanwhile, was a child at Mr. Lorenzo's school. He had bullied him a lot. That's why he wanted to take revenge on him. That's why they hired him. So, it was all a pre-planned setup. But now things have gone wrong. They don't realize it will become so real. That's why Chip suggests we should kill everyone and make it look like an accident anyway, so no one will know. But Randall isn't ready for this. But Steven convinces him, saying they have no choice. But they forget that Ever overheard everything they said, as the injection didn't have much effect on her. Later, Steven gives his group some weapons and tells them that everyone else has been infected. You have to protect yourself from him. If you see him anywhere, shoot him. By doing this, he wants to make them kill each other. But they made a mistake. Someone overheard everything, and sure of himself, himself is going to be the first victim. Let's see how. After everyone gets off the bus, Ever tries to crawl out. Sheriff spots her and attacks her. This time, Ever doesn't back down. Seizing the opportunity, attacks him with a heavy object, continuing to do so until he's completely dead. She also enters the building and attacks Steven. But when the others see her, they start beating her. Then, Ever screams for them to stop and injects herself, revealing the truth to them. They're all shocked. The liquid has already begun to affect her. Just then, Randall arrives and, looking at Ever, tells them to kill her because she's now infected. But the people have already understood everything. They begin to attack her, but then a painting is revealed, which Randall had commissioned to celebrate his victory, showing Tamra behind him. Seeing this, they realize they've all been deceived. They see Steven and the two of them together, and they brutally beat them both. Finally, they inject him with the liquid so that he too will experience the pain. Meanwhile, they brutally beat Chip and tied him to a tree. After 4 or 5 hours, when the effects of the liquid wore off, they returned to the bus with all the students. Mr. Lorenzo also regained consciousness. In the post-credits scene, we see Steven and